Mental health experts will soon evaluate the father accused of killing his 5-year-old son and hiding his body. It's the latest request by Joseph Daniels' attorney after he says his client showed signs of concern. News Channel 5's Matthew Torres explains this is one step to a long process ahead.
For now, Joseph Daniels is being held at the Riverbend Maximum Security in Nashville for, quote, safekeeping. His attorney says he received threats from other inmates at the Dickson County Jail. Since being arrested, he's never undergone a mental health evaluation. That is, until now. What was Joseph Daniels' state of mind when he reportedly beat his son, Baby Joe, to death? Is he competent to stand trial? To help answer those questions, a judge signed off on an order Tuesday to give Daniels his first mental health evaluation since his arrest.
Still, I see things there that give me concerns about his mental health.
Jake Lockhart says his client is easygoing, but would also get upset and cry a lot. He apparently was committed to a mental health facility at least twice and was on several medication, including lithium and Risperdal, a drug used for schizophrenia and bipolar disorder.
He certainly seems very confused at times. He seems to struggle remembering things.
A mental health evaluation is pretty standard, but Lockhart says there's more to it with his client.
Juvenile court also needed to have this done. There are actions filed in juvenile court to terminate my client's parental rights.
Moving forward, he believes Daniels confessed to protect either his wife or their other son.
He talks about little Joe and how much he loved little Joe. But he hasn't said anything about where little Joe is, and I'm not certain that he knows where little Joe is.
His wife, Crystal, is also indicted on several charges, including aggravated child neglect. A status hearing is scheduled for both in August. Reporting in Nashville, Matthew Torres, News Channel 5.
Matthew, thank you. The public defender also represents Stephen Wiggins, the man accused of shooting and killing Dickson County Sergeant Daniel Baker.
Could property taxes soon be going up for Nashville residents? It's one of the topics up for discussion at tonight's Metro Council meeting as council members vote on next year's budget. We have team coverage tonight, and let's begin with News Channel 5's Emily Luxon at the historic Metro Courthouse, where that meeting will be getting underway shortly. What will council members be considering tonight, Emily?
Well, they certainly have a lot to think about. There are 3 options that are on the table tonight. Council members could approve a proposal that would increase the property tax rate in Davidson County by 16%, fully fund Metro schools, and cover raises for city employees. Or they could sign off on another substitute budget that would not increase the property tax rate, not cover employee raises, but it would include several cuts that would give an extra $2 million to Metro schools. Or they could do nothing, which would allow Mayor Briley's proposed budget to pass. It does not include a tax increase, but it also doesn't include a raise for city employees or full funding for Metro schools. After more than 4 hours of debate yesterday, the Budget and Finance Committee voted to recommend both of the substitute budgets. So at this point, it's really unknown what the council will do tonight. Mayor Briley has said multiple times he is opposed to a property tax increase and could veto it if it passes. As you mentioned, that meeting will be getting underway right here behind me in about 30 minutes. We will be here throughout the night monitoring it to keep you updated. Reporting live at the Metro Courthouse, Emily Luxon, News Channel 5.
Emily, thanks. That potential property tax increase has all eyes on tonight's budget meeting. News Channel 5's Jason Lamb continues our team coverage tonight with more on what that hike could mean for you. Jason.
Well, that depends on where you live in Davidson County. There is a slight difference, but if a property tax increase is approved by Metro Council tonight, it would likely mean an increase of hundreds of dollars for the average home in Nashville. For our examples, we'll use a $250,000 home. Of course, your home may be assessed at more or less than that. If you live in much of the central part of Davidson County, like downtown, Green Hills, East Nashville, Madison, Donaldson, and Antioch, you're in what's called the Urban Services District. Your property taxes would go up $312.50 a year. If you live in the rest of Davidson County, including places like Hermitage, Old Hickory, and Bellevue, you're in what's called the General Services District. You'd pay $306.25 more. And that's only if the tax increase proposal is passed, one of many options. But what happens if the budget isn't passed tonight? There are several different versions, but the short answer is, if a budget is voted down tonight, Mayor Briley's budget proposal would likely go into effect. That proposal does not include a tax increase, but it also doesn't include a raise for city employees or full funding for Metro schools. And a third option, what if a budget is passed, but then vetoed by Mayor Briley?
The way it reads is that he can essentially line item veto particular lines within the operating budget, assuming he disagrees with it, the substitute.
If budget changes require a change in the tax bill, a new one would have to be filed, a tall order, but possible, before the deadline at the end of the month. And that deadline is a very firm one, June 30th by the end of the day. That's only 11 days away. Or else, like we said, Mayor Briley's proposal without a tax increase would automatically go into effect. Live in Nashville tonight, Jason Lamb, News Channel 5.